Hey, welcome to the Super Carboardio Brothers. My name is Joel, and you are
Matt,
Matt.
typically.
And I know you're thinking, that guy. I am a little too obsessed with board game videos, and that guy looks remotely familiar. What is he about? Who is he? And it might be because you remember me from my old channel, Dad, Son, and a Game. My son passed away, and by that I mean figuratively. Like, he's dead to me because he doesn't want to do board game videos anymore.
And he also passed on from caring about board games.
He likes board games. He just doesn't want to spend these videos, like, you guys watch them, and if you don't make them, you're like, oh my gosh, this guy sucks. And, like, I probably do suck, but, like, these videos take a little while to make, and he doesn't want to do it. So
It's true. And if you recognize either of our tenors, it's probably from our now defunct series, The Enlightened Gamer, of which
yeah.
you'll never unfortunately probably hear it, but
The podcast that just disappeared off the face of the earth, and no one cared.
so that's why we hit 10 subscribers this week. We'll know exactly where you all came from.
We also have done some video game Let's Plays, but that's enough about that. So I have a pretty good background in board games and have played pretty heavily for the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. And Matthew is a big gamer, but he's not, by that I mean he's really into games, not he's a big fat guy who likes games. So
They're both true, but in reference to what you're talking about, why this would be relevant to the channel, I'm a big fan of games, but I don't play like Joel does. So I think it's really valuable that I'm here because I kind of don't know what this is all about, and he does.
Yeah. So we're gonna play Terraforming Mars. He's into computer games, and this one kind of feels a little like a civ building video game that you might play on the computer. And so I'm going to try and convert this guy to board gaming a little more over the course of these videos. But this is the first one in our series. And I think that, if you're watching if we're going to try and keep it pretty light, because if you're watching hey, these guys are playing a board games type video, we know you're probably a pretty big fan of board games. And you're probably trying to kill some time. So we're going to, try and make your time killing a little more fun.
That was a really smooth recovery right there. You're probably a big fan of board games. I don't make any particular assumptions about our audience.
Which reminds me of Unjontron when he's like, then there was, I forget the big kid, he's like, who is the biggest boy? No,
No.
Too late, you already called him fat,
You already called him fat.
So anyway. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and just get right to the gameplay, because that's probably what you wanted us to do, 2-3 minutes ago. This is Terraforming Mars, and you can see my hands here. Ooh, and I'm up here. Here are my hands, and here are my hands.
I don't know
Magic.
what to do with my hands.
So
I think that was the joke.
the game is basically in the future where we are corporations in competition with each other, and I haven't figured out how to not get horrible glare on our over top of the table cam. I've tried messing with the lights and things. If you have any helpful hints on that, help me out here. But until then, this is the best I can get it. So sorry for the little bit of glare we have up here, but this is our game board here. This is Mars, and immediately this joker here says, hey, this game reminds me of Catan. And I'm like, are you... okay. There's hex on the board. I get that. All right, that's cool. But we gotta get him past that. So
it's Catan meets Power Grid, right?
Yes, exactly. Catan meets Power Grid.
So that's why you can realize I'm going to lose this episode right off the bat.
So, at any rate, we are, in fact, though, terraforming Mars. We're trying to get the oxygen level up and the aquifer level up. So, our oxygen level, not aquifer. So, this right here is the temperature on the planet, and this is the oxygen saturation.
Why don't you tell us what that is for the people who maybe can't see at home?
Negative 30 degrees Celsius. Maybe you could say centigrade if you wanted to, but I think they're I don't know, they're
synonymous. I think it's synonymous. Yeah. It's just like the European equivalent is calling it centigrade.
Swedish people love my videos for whatever reason. I think just people in Sweden watch a lot of videos because they're like,
I'm popular with Russians, so we've got Eastern Europeans down pat.
They're proud of PewDiePie, and so they're just like, hey, let's watch Let's Plays. Anyway, we love you, Sweden. And Russia, I guess, too, right?
Yep.
So,
for Danya.
Goodbye. They all turn their video off now.
Yeah, probably.
So negative 30 degrees, and then we're starting at 0% oxygen saturation. And so what's going to happen is we're both going to play as beginner corporations. So I don't know, you probably won't be able to see this very well. I'm going to go like this, see if you can see that. There you go, look at that. A beginner corporation. And so this is the real simple way to start. You get a hand of cards for free, and then you also get 42 credits for free to start the game off. And it's the best way to start off if you're just a beginner or haven't played much. And I've played this game, but it's been a little while, and Matthew's never played it. So we're going to make mistakes probably in the rules and things, and that'll be fun for you to pick those out and then tell us about it in the comments. But that's your little mini game you can play. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and just move on here with some stuff. So initially, the first thing that I'm realizing I don't remember is what do we start with? As far as I mean, we start with 42 credits. So the way how these work are these copper colored cubes are 1s, these are 5s, and these are 10s. So I'm going to take 20 worth of those, 40, and then 2. And then you put those in here. So these little player boards here are divided up into different kinds of currency that you have throughout the game. So we have this is like money. This is labor. This is science. I believe this is science.
The money is easy to remember because it looks like the euros sign.
Yeah,
they still use euros.
Exactly. And so the other thing that's really nice in this game is that they put all the formulas that we're going to need for the game into it already. So if you look here, it says if you're building a building, you can use this currency as 2 money. Okay. And then if you're building something with this symbol, a science symbol, this is titanium and this is steel, I believe, if I remember right. That means that if you're building something that's science-wise, you can spend this currency to get 3 as 3. You can always use this to pay for the cost of a card, but then you can use these other symbols to pay them as well. And then down here we have these are greenery. That basically 8 of these are going to convert into becoming one of these hex tiles that are in the bag over there. We'll get those out as we need them. And then energy and heat. And then the nice thing about this game, or the interesting thing about this game, is at the end of every generation, all of your energy is going to convert into heat. And then you can also pay 8 heat to raise the temperature up 1 degree, or actually they're 2 degrees, or pay 8 to put one of these greenery tiles on the board. And there also on the board are some bonuses. So you can see there's like 2 greenery here. If I end up placing a lake there, I would get 2 greenery here to help, increase the oxygen level. So that's going to increase the oxygen saturation. So oxygen is this symbol with like 2 little red dots. It's like a molecule of oxygen. So it shows us here that whenever we put down a greenery tile, we move that up. We also have this terraformer rating on the outside. So every time that we do something to terraform the planet, so put down an ocean, or if we move up the oxygen or the temperature levels, then we move up our terraformer rating. And the interesting thing about that is that's how we get paid. That's how we get our credits. So or a large way of how we get our money. So after it's kind of weird to think about, but it's probably going to be the way it really is. We play it through generations. Basically, what's going to end up happening is we will have. What's going to happen is basically Matthew and I are going to both play as like the patriarchs of our families, and then we're going to have children, and they're going to continue our work, and then they're going to continue the work beyond that. So can you imagine that? Like if you were born on Mars and you like had your destiny totally handed to you, like, well, you're going to become a scientist and you're going to have to help terraform Mars.
I mean, that's kind of similar to, and it's another popular genre for board games is like the medieval and fantasy type setting where you're probably born into
in feudalism where you were just like, you're going to have to do this.
Right. It's really sad. I think that the terraforming of Mars eventually boiled down to 2 competing brothers from the same family. So it's going to make, I don't know, we're going to have like an Adam and Eve Bible kind of thing going on.
And they made all kinds of terrible mistakes. Yeah, that would be kind of messed up. Like, we're in competition with each other, but our children are going to have to like mate together. I don't know.
Right. We're going to have a weird inbreeding evolutionary track that's going to like lead to the formation of vestigial arms and that sort of thing.
And then here's the other thing too. If you want to, at some point, let's say you hit a terraformer rating of 35, you can pay 8 credits to get that or claim that, and only 3 out of these 5 can be claimed, and you get 5 victory points for that. And then you can also claim these, which say basically at the end of the game, whoever has the most of these things, has the rating the highest on these things, we'll get 5 or 2. In a 2-player game, I don't know that it's necessarily as powerful as it would be in a more player game. But then the other thing too is like this game. I don't think they expected much out of this game, to be truthful with you. Like, I don't think that people had this on their radar and thought, hey, this is going to be a great game. Because if you look at it, I'm not trying to insult this game at all. Like, I would love to, if I started making a board game and this was what I ended up with, I would be proud of it. I would be so proud of it. But, like, compared to what you see normally from Stronghold games, the production value on it and the pictures on the cards and things are not what you would typically expect. So, I mean, I think what happened is they saw this game and they were like, whoa, this is amazing. It's not quite got the polish on it that we might want to have, but you know what? We want to get this thing to market. And then the other thing, too, is it ended up being a hot enough game that it's been really hard to find. So you guys know that. If you're watching this video, you know enough to know that this game's not out there right now. So this is like my own little like anecdote about how I ended up getting this game for free, essentially. And like, I'm one of those guys. You're probably going to turn the video off and be mad at me or whatever, maybe, but I hope not. Like the free market, right? So I bought 2 copies of this at the local game store and sold one online and ended up paying for my own copy that way. But I mean, like, it'll be back in print. I should probably cut that part out because people are going to rage. They're going to be like,
well, I thought the second part was that you're going to be like, and then I took the receipt back and pretended that I only got 1 copy of the game and basically pulled some kind of like receipt swapping
Grift.
swindle. Yeah,
no, I sold a copy on eBay. But I sold it at a reasonable price. So, I mean, like, I sold it at a price where someone was getting it for a little over MSRP. I wasn't trying to play gouge, but I don't know. I mean, like, this hobby is pretty expensive. So if you can find ways to make a little money back, I don't necessarily see a problem with it.
What kind of seller review did you get?
A good one. I got positive.
Positive. Then you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So
I shipped,
fair and equitable.
I shipped quickly, and everything was good.
And there's
so anyway,
no reason for anyone to be mad at us.
Anyway. So you're 13 minutes into this game and we still haven't played yet, right?
Correct.
Which tells me like we almost should start over.
No. So you're the first player. You get to go first because you've won.
Yeah,
recently.
that's what it says in the game, in the book. That hey, you won, so you get to play first. Yeah. Here's the one thing I do need to look up before we get started: is these little. Okay, so we have these little blue cubes or whatever. We're gonna use these when we place tiles on the map. We're gonna like claim them like that to keep track of our score. Yeah. But also they're going to be used down here to keep track of like how much we're going to get reoccurring.
Okay.
How much reoccurring we're going to get to do that. So I don't know what we start at. I don't know if we start at 0 on everything or how that works. So I'm going to have to look that up in the rules real quick. And Matthew, you can just tell like them a fun story.
Well, I was going to say in the meantime, I'm going to do a impromptu advertisement for Survive.
Oh my gosh.
Escape from Atlantis.
Stronghold Games, you are a big friend of ours now.
I guess. In this game, you can anticipate characters similar to those found on Monkey Island. Suspense, adventure, and thrills. It's the 30th anniversary edition for those that didn't know there was an entry point 30 years ago in this game, like myself. Let me read you some of the back of the box here real quick. It's early in the 20th century.
If you're still watching this, thank you.
Wow, okay. I thought I was entertaining. It's early in the 20th century, a time of exploration and adventure. The mysterious island of Atlantis has been discovered in the middle of the ocean, and there are rumors of riches.
Yes.
After reaching Atlantis, the explorers are ready to return home with treasures and artifacts, but Atlantis begins to sink, which I probably did in the first place. In a panic, the adventurers try to avoid a terrible fate. None of them succeed. All players die at the end of the game, but someone who has the most treasure... no, that's not... I'm surprised you're not interjecting. That's not really what it says in the back here. It says, in a panic, the adventurers try to avoid a terrible fate. Good. I hope you're finding that rule. The luckiest will find a boat to return home, while the less fortunate will have to try to swim out for it. The actual words that are said on there. But anybody will be safe from the sea, but nobody will be safe from the sea, monsters, sharks, and whales, which live in the ocean around Atlantis. Was that a good enough info?
It was. You know what's crazy about me like not knowing this is that the other times I've played this game, it's been really obvious what it's supposed to be, like, but I don't see it anywhere. So that's fun.
So moving on.
No, you don't need to do that.
Our next game, Trans. It's a game.
Trans.
I don't know why there's a train on the cover of this. It's about the Tumblr generation and finding equality for people of any sex, and it's done in cards.
The best thing I can do right now is not say anything.
I'm really confused because the back just looks like you're building. Trains. The game is Trains. The box art is correctly flipped to this side. I don't think my brother's ever played this game, so he can't really tell me anything about it.
I've definitely played that game. It's the game that you need to have instead of Dominion.
He's a liar.
Personally, I think it's a deck builder where you do some stuff. It's kind of cool. This is probably all going to get edited out. So
The Manhattan Project. This game is exactly what you think it is. You try and build a nuclear bomb. The game comes with enough components that you can actually build a real bomb and perform acts of terrorism within your hometown. So it's kind of interesting. It's a race to become a from-home terrorist. So anyway,
Good work.
thanks.
Since I'm resigning myself to all this getting edited out anyway at this point, I'm not too worried.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Introducing Finca, a game for 2 to 4
Finca.
players. Players being 10 plus.
The
There's-
Finca.
There's some stuff in here that's a little grotesque, but not too bad. I know it looks very quaint. It's almost like Norman Rockwellian.
It's got some really horrible war crimes in it.
There's some really bad stuff. Some kind of Rambo 5 level violence and plundering. You need any other advertisements real quick?
No, I think we're good.
Very quickly establishing us as not having the chops to do any advertising.
You know what? I'm going to put them all at 0. I think we start at 0.
Okay, great. And I'm sure after a hard cut right there, we're back.
So we've decided we may play this wrong, but we're going to start at 0. We're just going to start at 0.
Great.
So, at any rate, for our resources. So we're both playing with beginner corporations, and that tells us that we each get to start with 42 credits, which I have on my board. You want to give yourself 42 credits there, you can do that. And 10 cards.
For the viewer, I will.
And the thing that's nice about these cards that we're getting to start the game is that they're a gift. They really are a gift. They are basically going to... They're basically going to be free. Every other time, though, we're going to draw 6 cards, and then we have to pay to keep any cards that we want to have. We have to pay 3 gold.
Okay.
Or whatever that unit is that we want to call it. So, okay. Interesting.
Generally speaking, I play these games and wait for you to correct me when I do something wrong. So it'll be really interesting playing this game where you don't necessarily know the rules. But that's okay. If I get away with cheating, it might actually involve me.
No, I think we're good. I think we have some good stuff going on here. Okay, so I'm the first player. So basically, what happens is I go first because I've won Terraforming Mars more recently, and then Matthew goes next, and we go back and forth until we both consecutively pass. So that's kind of an important rule too, is that we both have to consecutively pass. So if Matthew is gonna pass, and then I go, and then I do something that opens up an option for him, he can jump back in. But if I pass and then he passes, then we're done. And that's the end of our generation. That's all that generation could do. And then we get paid again. And then we move on to the next generation. So,
Trademark. The next generation.
trademark. And then the other thing that's kind of important too is that you can do either 1 or 2 actions on your turn. So I can do 1 thing or 2 things. And that's an interesting mechanic because I feel like sometimes you're going to want to, most of the time you're probably only going to do the 1 thing because you don't want to get all your turn done and then give them free reign to do everything without you being able to, interfere with what they're trying to do. But at the same time, if there's something you're setting up and you have to get it done and they're afraid they're going to steal it from you, then you can do 1 action, then another action right away. And then they go ahead and go after that. So it's a nice way to kind of save yourself from getting swindled or something by another player. So it allows you to set up combos a little better. But I mean, that's basically it. So we start with these cards. I'm going to go ahead and on the action phase. So the research phase is when we it's actually 4 cards. I said 6 that we would choose from. We're skipping the research phase on this first one because it's the first round and we have all these cards to play with. Now, normally we wouldn't have beginner corporation and you wouldn't get 10 free cards to play with. Like you'd draw 10 and then buy them in the initial setup. So at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you real quick what the actual options are on your turn. You can play a card out of your hand, and put it down in front of you, and you're building a tableau. So like many of these cards are going to be like things that are there for the rest of the game. They allow you to pay a certain amount of money to do this thing or whatever, or they give you a permanent effect, like they move up your resource track. So if I play a nuclear power plant, let's say, it moves me up to power production every round, or every generation, I guess is the way we should say it. And then the next thing you can do is do one of the standard actions. So basically, that's this part of the board right here, where it's the standard actions, and that allows me to sell back cards for a gold each, which you don't want to do any more than you have to because you paid 3 for them. Pay 11 gold to build a power plant, which is just move your power up one. Pay 14 to have an asteroid come and heat the planet up. I guess somehow in the future we're able to redirect asteroids. Pay 18 to put down an aquifer, a lake or a pond or whatever you want to call it, which allows you to build basically cities near it. You have to build next to an aquifer, as best I understand, to start the game. And if you can build next to your own tiles, you have to do that as well. And then you could also pay 23 to put down greenery, which is a very expensive way to do it. You could do it for 8 here. You want to not do that any more than you have to. And then you can also build a city. And when you build a city, that's going to also increase your gold production or money production. They're also worth victory points at the end of the game. So you get a victory point calculation based on the number of adjacent tiles to a city that you own or have next to you. These also are victory points too. So as we're moving around this track, that's our victory points also. So you get a good idea of where you're at in this game as the game goes on because, I mean, really, you're keeping track of your score as you go. And then there's a few points here and there at the end of the game that'll get calculated. So there's definitely a chance that you could come from behind, but if I'm up 50 points on somebody, then they've done some crazy stuff. So the reason why this game is good, though, is because there are so many different things you can do. There's always more you want to do than you can do. So that's what, in my opinion, makes this game a solid game. And I mean, I really honestly feel like this had to have been a huge surprise to a lot of people because, I mean, there's just no way people expected this game to be as popular as it was and to have this production level on it and have it go out of print this quickly. So I did hear there's a second edition coming out in 2017 where they're going to make some minor changes to the rules. I think there were some rules in there that people didn't quite catch, like that you don't get paid between each action, you get paid between each generation, and some other small things that I'm sure we're going to mess up on this game too. And then I think also, like, it would be really cool if they would get a better looking board, probably. I mean, like, it's a standard looking, like, it looks like it was just made on, I don't know, like Microsoft Paint or something almost. I mean, like, I'm not trying to be totally rude, but it just doesn't have that look of a real professional board game that I come to expect nowadays. It's just really...
It's pretty plain.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. And I think as good of a game it needs better production than it has. Not trying to be rude. If you did the graphic design in this game,
Yeah, give me like an MTV spaceman floating around out here or something.
you did a better job than I ever would have expected
A Mars
you to do,
rover
or I
over
mean, than I
here.
could do either. And I don't know. I'm not trying to be rude, but
I am trying to be rude. I could have done better, but
you think so?
but like I think this is kind of what you're saying is, it's like if suddenly Dutch Blitz came back and was really popular, like about that expected.
Yeah, like Dutch Blitz had a run because it appeared on tabletop or something. So,
Right.
at any rate, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and say this is it for this segment, and then we're gonna have part 2, where the actual gameplay is gonna start here.
Yeah, I'm going to reiterate: if Dutch Blitz suddenly does have a run, it's because of this video right here.
Yes, we were the creators of Dutch Blitz being all the rage.
So all those cardboard stores out there, make sure you get a nice stock of Dutch Blitz in the back room. You're going to want at least 30 copies,
Yes,
30 decks.
for sure, for sure.
All right.
All right. Anyway, moving on. I'm the first player because I've won Terraforming Mars more recently, and that's a ridiculous mechanic. I think I don't know. It just feels ridiculous.
Well, it's weird because it's like one-on-one basketball. It's like winner takes the ball, kind of. But then, like, I'm coming into this having never played it before, and you still gonna go first.
Yeah.
Some games it's like really detrimental and like super important. This seems like, since it's taking place over an unknown number of generations, I could still beat you. So I'm not going to, but I could.
Well, you might. Who knows?
All right, I eagerly await your.
I'm going to go ahead and play down this card right here, which is called Underground Detonation. So it basically says that if I play 10 gold, I can always increase my heat production by 2. So I have to pay 6 to do that. So I'm paying 6 right now to get rid of that. And that's going to be the only action I'm going to do right now. So go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to sort through my cards again and see which of them are applicable. There's a lot of cards that are dependent on the planet's temperature and the oxygenization, that's a word, I think, of the planet. So a lot of mine are kind of non-applicable at this time. But I'm going to play this and then probably be educated by Joel why it was a bad move. It's called Equatorial Magnetizer. As an action, I can decrease my energy production 1 step to increase my terraforming rating by 1 step. You can take a look at the card here real quick, if we can manage it.
Okay, so you're going to decrease your energy in creation,
which is a really bold move, probably at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I mean, like, it might not be bad if you can figure out a way to increase your energy production substantially.
Although it might not be a bad move either, because I can't actually reduce my energy production. Does that make the card?
You can't use it to
non-applicable. Yeah. All right. Let's try this one then. How about mining rights? Mining rights. Place this tile on an area with a steel or titanium placement bonus. Increase that production 1 step.
Okay. So you're going to place a mining rights tile down on one of these tiles here that has either that symbol or this symbol, and you're going to basically get that benefit from you.
And it doesn't matter if there's one or two?
And then you're also going to increase your production from generation to generation, whichever one you place it on. So I'd do it too, because they're open and you get 2 resources, and this would give you 2 steel and this would give you 2 science or titanium or whatever they want to call it.
I'm going to go with titanium then.
Yeah.
Here on the
I would too.
Agriplantia.
Yep, I would too. And that's probably an illegal move, but I mean, like, I don't know any better. So tell us in the comments that was an illegal move, I guess. But then you also get, so this is where it's nice too, because you get 2, so you get a production of 2. So 1, 2, we're going to use these as this.
Yeah.
And then you also get to move your production up 1 of that.
All
so
right.
Every time a generation happens, you get to do that.
So I can kind of hear that comment already. It's going to be, you two are both fat idiots and ... and then the real rule. So look for that down in the comments if you want to know how and why that card was illegal.
So here's another interesting thing too about this game. So there's a symbol here on the top of this card that is a power. It says the power plant card, and then I mean the focus is awesome there, obviously. But see how that little purple sign symbol is there? Sometimes it'll say that you have to have like a couple of that symbol in your tableau in order to do something. So I'm gaining a power symbol by building a power plant, and I have to pay 4 in order to do that. But that increases my electricity production by 1, and I'm done.
Okay. Trying to see if I have any more applicable cards, because there's a lot of them that are dependent on factors that are not yet in place in the game. So
yeah, there's some minimum heat temperatures on there sometimes, or minimum oxygens.
And that's what I'm running into. Also, 7%, 2 red dots, and oxygenization.
Yep.
Oxygen levels.
You can always do one of the standard actions too if you want to.
Okay.
But I mean, generally speaking, the cards are really going to be what.
So the standard actions would be buying another card, or
not right now. These things on the board right here that I went over.
Okay. I'm going to sell some of these cards then, because I just don't see them coming into play anytime soon. Like a +4 degrees Celsius and 7% oxygen levels. That's what I'm going to call that from now, I think.
Oxygen levels?
Yeah. So I'm going to sell these 2 cards.
Okay, so when we discard cards, we put them face down.
Okay.
In our discard pile, and then you would just collect 2 credits for that.
All right.
So I mean, like, I think the reason why that was probably an okay move is because we started with the standard corporations where you got 10 cards.
Right, I have too many cards right now.
So I mean, like, I don't know. I'm going to hang on to mine though. We'll see how this goes, but I'm going to hang on to mine because I don't know. I think they're valuable. I'm gonna go ahead and do. This is an event card, so it's orange, which means it happens one time, but you still want to lay that in front of you because you get those symbols at the top there. So I'm going to do imported GHG, which gives me 3 heat, 1, 2, 3 heat, and also increases my heat production by 3, and it costs me 10, or 7, I mean. I'm going to put 10 over there. So I am done.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask for a real clarification. When I played this mining rates card, it says 9 up in the top left. Does that mean I should have paid 9 when I used it?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do that at this point.
Thanks for being honest, and I did not catch that at all.
I'm guessing someone at home might have. So let's take a look. At this point, I don't get new cards yet until all the actions are done.
Yeah, we do a new research phase.
Okay.
After. Yep.
Well, yeah, after further examination of my cards, oh, okay. Actually, I'm going to pay the 23 required money for this. If I can play it, I don't see any restrictions as to why I shouldn't be able to. Towing a comet, you can gain 2 plants, raise oxygen level 1 step, and place an ocean tile.
And it costs 23. That's a good card.
So yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to take an early lead. One of those ocean tiles. I want to place on a place that has multiple trees, or is there
Probably. Well, you need to put it on one of the blue shaded places.
Right.
But yeah, you're gonna want to get those extra tree bonuses too.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Or
ahead
the
and
cards.
place that in the ES Chasma.
So okay, remember you were wanting cards earlier?
Yeah.
Here's the Viking site. It looks like if you place it there, then you can get 2 cards. Just saying.
Okay, but I will lose out on 2 plants.
Yeah, not production, just plant currency. So
Okay.
it's not an ongoing production thing. It's just you get 2 bronze cubes
Okay.
to put in there.
So it's 2 non-recyclable.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I
One time
guess I
thing.
will take your
These 2 discarded cards.
your advice on this round.
The only disadvantage, I guess, I mean, I don't have to finalize it, but when you play games, I know like there's probably like a sanctioned tournament rules that says like that's a final move, but like he's learning the game, so I feel like being lenient with people is always the best. So the other thing that's a disadvantage going up there is that you're kind of isolated. If you go in the middle of the board, people are going to build off of you and run into you. So, and every time someone builds adjacent to your aquifer,
Yeah.
you get 2 million.
I think this is more
So-
about explaining how to play the game to people and offering these types of pro tips. And yeah, sanctioned rules aren't going to apply to me because I never play these games. So
Yeah, no, I think it's cool. All right, cool. Well, I'm looking at what I have available to me right now.
it's not a lot, right? Oh, did we do the rest of this? I think we were supposed to raise the oxygen level 1 step.
Yep.
And
Which moves you up on the TR track 1.
okay, I also gain 2 plants regardless of where I place this. It looks like.
Yep.
Okay. So
And then did you pay your 23? It looks like it.
Yeah.
Whew. I feel like I need to probably.
So, real quickly, how do I signify that I've gained 2 plants? Is there like a marker for that?
Okay, so you put these in your reserve.
Okay.
Plants.
Great.
There you go. I feel like I need to, at this point, I need to. I don't want to pay 23 to put a plant down. I don't want to pay 14 to raise the temperature.
Yeah, you have to
Don't
be
wanna
real.
pay-
You have to be a real schmuck to pay 23 for about any card at this point in the game. I think.
Well, I mean, like the standard actions. Those are just expensive.
Yeah.
Boy. I'm gonna go ahead and do this Subterranean Reservoir, which is in action, but it lets me like place 1 ocean tile for 11. So that's like a little discount I get on that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and that lets me put an ocean somewhere. Let's do it right here.
For those who haven't been paying attention, you just put an ocean in the ES Chasma, where I had originally placed my ocean. So.
All right, I'll do it right here.
Oh, that's fine.
Um,
Put it Right back in the ES Chasma.
So, I mean, like, I was like, I really want that space.
It's
so
the
that's why I
boardwalk
talked about
of terraforming Mars, basically.
it. It is. Okay, so when you put down an ocean tile, I'm trying to think. You don't do anything with. You raise your terraforming rating by 1, but I don't think you raise the oxygen level by 1. So you've moved yours up twice, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So cool. That's cool. Your turn.
Okay, I'm going to buy a power plant. So trade in that to push up my production. Oh, whoops, of my power plant to 1.
So one of the cool things that is out there for this game are these plastic overlays you can get that like keep your player mat like really clean and sorted. But I don't have those. I'm gonna go ahead and pass.
Okay. How many more actions until we're through a generation?
Until you pass.
I'm
And-
also going to pass. Then.
Sweet. So now we do a production phase. So now we see what our production levels are. I am at 0 here. Plus, I'm at 21 there.
So that's what you were referring to earlier when there's as many. You can take
21.
as many actions as you can basically afford.
Yeah, but you gotta think of future generations. I don't want to spend all my money. And then I get 0 production on this, 0 production on this, 0 production, 1 production on energy, and 1 production on heat. And all the energy that I had before this should have shifted over. So your energy just turns into heat, basically, at a point. So at this point, I think we go on to the research phase.
Okay. Well, so a breakdown real quick of how people get paid and how I should know how much
Let's do 2 and 2.
money I should be taking.
Whatever it says in the track up there, plus whatever it says right here.
Oh, okay.
So your track says 22. You
Yep.
should get 22 money,
Nope, not yet.
and then you should get whatever your little cubes say on the track there. So
Oh,
you
okay.
get 1 titanium resource.
Okay.
You would
which
get
is
right here because you're on the 1
3
there.
money.
No, it's just 1 of these cubes.
Oh, one of these. Okay.
But then you can use them to do science at the price of
Or I can
3.
use them
You
as 3 money.
So basically, if you see a card that has this symbol on it,
Right.
you're reducing your costs of this by 3 when you pay 1 of these.
Great.
So, and then you don't have any plant production. You do have 1 energy production, so you get 1 energy cube there. And then there's your 4 cards in the research phase. You can. Oh no, these are my 4 cards right here. You can keep any of these cards you want, but you have to pay 3 money for each one.
Okay. You're gonna throw in some nice like public domain music while we're contemplating which of these cards we want to hold on to.
We should.
So expect to hear some Camptown Ladies or London Bridge. Techno remix.
Man, I don't like any of these cards.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at on mine. Wow. Well, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pass on all of these. So these cards just go back into the discard.
I'm going to keep this one for 3
Okay.
because it might be interesting to keep if I can get some other cards that I think might be kind of cool. And I'm going to keep this one for 3 as well because there might be something cool that can happen to me eventually.
So my guess would be, though, that these cards go face down into the discard pile.
Yeah, we put them right here.
Okay.
And then now you become the first player.
Great.
And we have money again and stuff.
We sure do.
And it's your turn.
I'm going to use a convoy from Europa.
Ooh.
That lets me place 1 ocean tile and draw 1 card.
Ooh.
So that seems helpful. I'm going to place this ocean over here. Well, okay, so further explanation required again. If I place an ocean tile there, do I gain benefits from those 2 symbols on there? Is that
Yep,
specific to
you
mine?
would get 2 of the steel
Okay. Immediately or?
right now.
Okay, and push up my production on those?
Nope, just get the
I got you.
cubes in the...
This is making more sense to me now. Hopefully you at home as well.
And that's yours?
Yeah, I should pay for that also.
You should. Boy, I don't know what to do here.
You should be keeping an eye on your sneaky little brother, but...
I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I don't know that it's a good idea right now or not, but I'm going to go ahead and build Noctis City. I have that card in my hand, which says I need to, it's going to require power to run that, but I'm also going to get 3 additional money production. And then I build that city and the Noctis City spot, which gives me 2 plants. And I have to find the Noctis City tile here. Which is probably in here somewhere, or it's just a city, I guess, probably at Noctis City. And that's mine. I built that for, it's a blue one. So now, every time someone builds next to that, it's going to get me more victory points. Plus, I also get 2 million credits because I built next to my own pond.
So, starting from this point on in the game, I'm guessing passing happens a lot more frequently? Based on limitations of resources?
Possibly, real possibly.
Did you end up, so you ended up playing a card, but did it
I
cost
need
you?
to pay 18. Yeah. So, I tried to Matthew my way into not paying, but
you can't swindle a swindler, though, as President Bush once famously said.
yes, that's exactly what he said.
He said, "Fool me once, you're a real grifter, guy. Fool me twice, I don't think so, pal."
That's what he said. I think I'm done. I mean, I'm obviously done with my action right now. I'm not going to take a second one, so it's on to you.
Okay. I'm pretty poor at this point. I think I have 8 euros. I guess I could use some of these resources if the cards allow it. But I'm kind of again running to that same area of... yeah, I don't see enough inherent value of playing these cards versus holding on my money, so I'm going to pass as well. Or I'm going to pass at this time.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna pass too. Because I don't like my cards right now, but I don't want to get rid of them, and I don't want to do any of the standard actions. They feel kind of expensive to me, even though I'd like the temperature to get a little higher and I'd like the oxygen to get a little higher. But I've been thinking about this camera up here, this guy up here.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. I've looked at it for like a solid 7 seconds of this whole video so far, so that's good. So
okay.
This part of my head, probably you really enjoy that, I think, is the audience.
It looks fine.
So anyway, at this point, I wish we had a camera. I could show you my tableau of cards that I have, but yeah. So anyway, let's try and get another generation in before we run out of videotape, because we're using a Betamax video recorder that only records 30 minutes of tape at one time. So
it's astonishing resolution for its time, but yeah, it's very limited otherwise.
And we have to plug it into the charger.
It was
for a couple hours.
Back in 1979, it was probably worth $8 grand, but at this point, it's starting to seem a little bit dated.
It's really good still. It's just hard to find beta tapes.
Yeah,
they're getting more and more expensive. So, okay, we both passed, which means we do production. So I am at 21 still. You're at 22.
I have a lot of beta
I also
tapes,
have 3,
but they also all have time cap on them. So
I get 24 of these monies.
Okay.
Plus nothing, plus nothing, plus nothing, plus nothing, plus 1. And this shifts over.
Okay.
And then 1. So am I close? I'm getting close. I have 6, so I'm almost to the point where I can crank up the temperature a little bit. And then I'm done. Did you pay yourself?
I again get 22, and I'm actually just going to do this.
Ooh,
and
fancy. You get one of those.
Yeah, I give myself another steel or titanium as
your slides over.
You get to this slides over here. Or wait.
No, the one you get right there.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, the only one that slides is here. See that arrow? That signifies that.
Of course.
So you get 1 energy production because you built a power plant.
Right.
And that energy became heat.
Becomes heat.
It became heat last time. So the thing I did I slid it over before you went in and replenished it there. So now you have that.
In retrospect, I see it all clearly.
Yes. And I think, really the main use of power is to make heat.
Control the masses.
Yes. Power. So it's time for us to research, which means we both get 4 cards. 1, 2, 3.
Fortunately, we knew exactly where all that stuff was. I
Uh,
think. Oh, these are
let's
both.
just-
It's just my 2 titanium. That's
We'll just rewind the tape back. You had one production, right?
Yeah, I think so.
We'll just rewind the tapes back and look at that.
No, I didn't have any
Betamax
production on
tapes.
this one. I did. Yeah.
Okay, so I thought you had production on this one because you.
No, I just got 2 of them because I placed it.
But then you were able to move your production up one for this.
No.
Yeah, no, you have one production on this,
Oh,
man,
okay. Yeah,
and not on this.
that's right.
I'm pretty sure.
No, that is right. Okay, that's what
And
I
then
remember.
have you been taking your one for this one?
No, so for at least 1 turn, I should probably have another one.
I think you should get another one too. I really do because I think it's been 2 generations.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's heavy.
That was so like. A lot of people would argue that generation right there was kind of like the millennials, right? Which I am a member of. I think do you qualify as a
I
millennial?
do, just barely, depending on the definition.
Meaning
I guess.
that generation didn't do very much.
Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. I'm keeping that one.
Oh, I thought you were saying my comment about the millennials was nice. Like, no, it was actually pretty rude, but it was self-inclusive, so I felt like it was okay. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna buy that one, I think. And the rest of these are probably gonna go wholesale back to the discard pile, but
I'm buying this one and this one, and this one. Yeah, I need them.
I'm buying these 2.
I need them. I need 3. I'm buying 9.
These ones are going back. Put those back for me. Thank you, sir. And we will have purchased these.
Oh boy. Hey boy. All right, here we go. I get first player again. Artificial photosynthesis. I'm gonna build that, and that gives me a science symbol, which is kind of nice. But then I'm gonna pay 12 to do it, so it's kind of expensive, but I think it's worth it. Your turn.
Okay, I'm going to win the game here real quick.
Oh,
So I didn't notice how awesome this card is.
game-breaking combo.
But this card is awesome. So I'm going to play this for 24.
A doomed crater, huh?
It says domed crater, but
Oh,
basically,
doomed crater. Yeah, that's
oxygen
cool.
has to be less than 7%.
Uh-huh.
I gain 3 plants and place a city tile. I have to decrease my energy production by 1 step, but I get to increase my. It looks like it says me, but it's basically M and then the weird euro sign production 3 steps.
So do you?
is that
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so I get to move that up to 3. Energy production, I'm back to 0.
Yep.
I
Gain 3 plants,
gain 3 plants.
and then put a city tile down,
Gain 3 plants every day, and city tile.
which you need to build adjacent to. So these are
okay.
2-sided tiles here.
Yeah.
That basically on one side are this, and the other side are their cities.
Oh, so you already placed the city.
Mhm.
And are there restrictions on where the city's
It
going
needs
to
to
go?
be next to a water source,
A source of water.
and then you can't build cities next to each other unless you have a card that lets you do that.
Okay. I think this is going to go right in the Hebes Chasma.
Sweet.
And I get 2 more plants for that as well.
Wow, you have almost enough plants to.
Very nearly. To do
Did
whatever.
that give you? That didn't give you any plant
to
production though.
place a forest or something,
Mhm.
and that'll raise oxygenation by 1.
Correct.
I keep saying I'm going to keep saying oxygen level, but I never do.
What did I just put down? Oh, on this one on artificial photosynthesis, I was able to increase my plant production or my energy by 2. I'm gonna do my plant production by 1, just because of this card I'm gonna play, which is called the Food Factory,
Ooh,
and I have just enough to play it, just barely.
that looks like it's going to take away one of your plant resources.
It is. That's why it was
But it's going
important.
to give you +4 to your money.
+4 to my money, which puts me at 7. So that's good. Okay, so when you put down your ocean tile, did you move your TR up?
No.
So move that up. That would be
By
good.
how many?
1.
Okay, great. What about or city? That's what I placed. It's the same thing, just 1.
Yep.
Okay. What about yourself? Do you need to move at all?
No, not right now.
Okay. Do you have any more actions?
You know, I'm done.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and trade in. I'm just here to make bold moves, really, because I don't necessarily know precisely what I'm doing. So I'm here to make pretty big moves. I'm gonna trade in all 5 of these cards for 5 money.
Wow, bold. I'm
Totally.
passing.
I'm also passing because at this point I still don't have enough money.
Okay, so I get 21 plus 7. I get 28 money.
I'm gonna move our generation counter up to 4.
Yeah, but we haven't been doing that. We've been neglecting that. That's okay. I get no other production except for I get 1 additional heat production.
Well, you have to remember we're playing like the modified Hatsudo method. So if any of these rules seems like they don't make sense, it's because we're playing a modified rule set.
I'm looking at my heat production. Oh, there it is from this. Okay, that makes sense. Sweet. And then I got paid. Did you get paid?
I have not yet, although I'm making more money now, I think, so that's cool. I need 1 of these guys. I need bumped up to 23 plus.
Whew. I like that card.
I'm actually making some real money now. So are you, I think. You've been pushing up that resource quite a bit.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm keeping this guy. These cards are starting to make a lot more sense to me. I think I'm just getting a better draw now.
Oh, dude, I'm keeping that one. So there's 3 money. I like that one. I like
That
one.
one's pretty good.
That one, but I'm only gonna keep 3 money's worth. Cause I gotta make the money to put the cards down. Put the card down. Put your
These
card
2 are
down.
going back. I think I'm going to buy those.
So as somebody who's played like Ticket to Ride, Airlines Europe, some more basic games. I mean, you played like a little bit of heavier games, like, but not seemingly enjoyed it much. What do you think of this game?
As I'm starting to understand it, and obviously the rule set, some of the, if we're even playing it right, some of the mechanics of this game are a little more complicated than things this somewhat reminds me of. I think, at least with the counter around the outside, that seems familiar from things like Ticket to Ride, Airlines Europe.
Yeah.
And I think Power Grid.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an obvious mechanic that's more. There's a lot of careful planning in terms of what do you want to have, more money, more availability of your cards, placing resources. It's just a lot of. This game's at that kind of crux, and I think that's probably why it's gotten any popularity. It's that crux of where complexity meets fun.
Yeah.
And so that's really helpful.
Not so heavy it's brain burning, but it's
right
enough to think about that you have some things
and
to do.
I'm stepping to the board for the first time today, and I don't feel completely intimidated by you having played this maybe once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good game, based on being thereabouts around 4 or 5 rounds in this.
And I am royally kicking Matthews behind.
Probably.
And by that I mean he's got more on his
I have
score
more
track than I do.
I have more resources, but you're making more money every round.
Yeah.
So we're diversifying our strategies, and we'll see which of them.
And the dowries that he's offered me for my sons to marry his daughters on Mars is really, really impressive. So, but eventually we're going to end up with flipper babies because there's only 2 families.
Right.
We're brothers making babies. So,
and eventually you're going to get unlucky where I start producing the daughters.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
things just kind of go back and forth in this game.
Yeah.
It's a lot like Crusader Kings, if you play computer games at all. Marrying your cousins might be the best way to keep power in the family, but you're also marrying your cousins.
We're lying about that part of this game because it's not in there, but
It's an
expansion.
unplanned expansion that we're
It's a
writing.
fan expansion that we're writing, where there's like another road on here, and it's like there's like how much population you have to do labor, but then there's like a slider that as you slide up the population, your genetic
Then
like
you have to
your
roll,
genetics gets narrower.
Then you have to roll like a 20-sided dice.
Yeah.
And,
That's actually a great expansion.
and the higher the bar goes, the more times you have to roll the dice. And there's like a lot of blank sides. There's some sides that have like red toes.
I think what it is, it's 0 to 20. Okay, so like the more you slide it up, is the more your people are breeding.
Okay.
But the more people are breeding, the more interbred they get.
Oh.
But if you get it up, there's like different segments. So it's like 1
So you
resource,
have to-
2 resources, and you
it's
get whatever you want. And then like as it gets up though, it gets closer to 20. And so then it's like if you roll anything that is under whatever the number is, or how would that be? Over.
I think
No.
we've just defined this as being our intellectual property, but Stronghold Games, if you want to take this expansion and
So,
run with it,
so the interbred thing. So, like
we're
a
cheap.
1, you roll. If you roll anything below a 1 on the 1, like you only get 1 extra resource. But if you roll below a 1, then like you have to kill off your entire population
Right.
and like have like
the game also ends prematurely if God can no longer recognize your race as being human. So
you lose your soul. Anyway,
all right. So you had a turn, I think, right?
I think we just got paid again, right?
Yeah.
And bought cards.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So I think we're on to round 4. You're first player again.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I know I got some cards here that I was excited about because I thought I could use them. But I might be wrong about that. Let me see.
Oh man, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm getting in your head too.
Okay, so cool. I can spend 8 money resource, whatever that's called. It just looks like it says me, but to place 1 ocean tile or steel may be used as if you were playing a building card. So I can finally use some of this stuff as 3 apiece, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to take 2 of these and 2 of my money, play this card. Oh, actually playing the card costs a lot more, but
Okay, so you're paying.
I'm paying 18 to play the card.
Okay, so you could pay 6 of these.
Okay.
How many of those did you play?
Oh, it's done now. So I paid
Okay.
2 instead. I'm just gonna hold on to my steel. I don't know that it's any worse or better
That's
than
titanium
money.
there.
Okay.
Oh, no, actually, you had to pay steel. You're right. So you paid steel. So you paid 2 of these.
Okay. So I can put 2 of these back. Get rid of those other 2.
Okay,
That
so
works.
that's been there. But then that was worth 4. So you paid 14 total.
I have.
No.
Yeah.
Look at that. So you get aquifer pumping, which means that you can pay 8 money to play an ocean tile. Steel may be used as if you were playing a building card.
So all they got me was another ocean. But
Yeah. Well, not yet, because you have to pay 8 to do it. But that's a reoccurring power that you get. So now every time you pay 8, you can put an ocean tile down.
Oh, but
Whereas it cost me 18, and then you also can like.
Oh, so
pay
I don't
steel.
at this point.
So this is like why this is a tableau building game, because these things in front of you,
Okay.
these blue cards,
So then I
are
need to
things
take.
that you can
I need to take
reuse.
8 money back because I already paid
Well,
it.
if you can do 2 actions,
Okay, so I can't.
so you
still
can
do
go
that.
ahead and put that card down, and then
Yeah,
go
then I
ahead
still
and
need
as
to do
well
the ocean then.
put that down. So here you go. Place
Alright.
an ocean, I suppose. And oceans are worth some points.
All you future cosmonauts who are living on Mars, remember that I was the one who built the ocean over in Candor Chasma.
They call it the Kratzer Ocean.
But it's confusing because his last name's
So
also
here's
Kratzer.
what's interesting to me, and this is where I didn't pay attention to what you were doing at all. How
Okay.
is the city here?
Because I placed it there.
It has to be next to a lake, but now you're illegal, I guess. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
So-
that was confusing me. I thought you meant
I think
I
your
had to go-
penalty on that is going to be you just don't get the 2 million for building next to your own lake. So
Okay.
we'll do that. But you want to put red cubes on those so that way we know yours.
That's a
yours.
good plan too.
All right.
See, you have to try and to keep up with my brother who's played this game at least once before. I try and cheat just a little bit and get away with
Sure.
it so that we can kind of be on
Sure,
even
sure.
playing field.
Absolutely.
Feigning ignorance is a big part of my strategy.
Sure. Absolutely. I got to figure out a way to. Yeah, I don't want
Hey,
to say
it
that out
sounds
loud.
my phone.
I don't want to say that out loud. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I can pay 10 money to get 2 heat. And I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
And then I will use the second part of my action to pay. I'm going to go ahead and pay the 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 heat to do Shibuya. Move this up 1. Was that already moved up once? Maybe not. Wow, that's crazy. So go ahead and can you build me up to 22 there?
Sure.
Thanks. And that's going to help me out later in the game too. So your turn.
Okay. I'm pretty broke. And I like some of these cards despite not really being able to use them right now. So... Oh, and I see the card now that I was actually going to play last turn, so that's okay. I think I'm going to pass.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
That's correct.
Really?
Yes.
Man. Man. Whew. I need that to happen, but I need more money for that. I need that to happen, but I need more everything for that. There's some really good cards in my hand here, but I'm gonna go ahead and do I have second? No, I don't. Man.
I'm gonna blink to the audience now in Morse code when I'm thinking. So
Okay. You're gonna pass already?
yeah.
I guess I will too.
Okay.
So I get
This chip back, right?
yep, and I get you.
I think we're on generation 6 at least.
22 plus 7. I get 29 money. So I'm getting more money, I guess. And then I only get 1 heat production. And that's it. I need to get my production levels up, man. I'm really not building a very good engine here. There's your research.
Okay.
Did you pay yourself for everything?
I did. I think.
No.
Nope, but I have now.
I'm keeping that one. That's very interesting.
And I'm keeping this one because it's also very interesting. I'm like announcing the fact that I'm keeping that one. Okay, I've got my 2 cards.
This card is insane. I'm keeping it as well. I'll get rid of these two.
Set this up here. I got worms.
I have this card, which this is where like I don't understand the rules of this game. It seems like a ridiculously overpowered card, and like almost game breaking. And this card, which feels like overpowered and game breaking. So, paying 6.
You probably want to been able to see either of those because as an actual good production thing, I don't think the camera's an autofocus, which is fine. Because it works really well for like 99% of what we're trying to do here. But then the last part,
I'm not sure
I don't know.
how the focus was working on that. It's a state-of-the-art camera.
The joke for me was that my card said worms.
It's an internet webbing
worms.
camera, so that's shooting that. So,
Yep.
I got worms. He said. All right, it's my turn first. Is that right?
Yes.
I'm gonna go and pay 13 and put this guy down, and
I'm going to pay for my cards real quick.
so that's a regolith eater, which is cool, I guess. 13.
Regolith.
So put these there and get 7 back. Your turn.
I just want to make a really quick comment here. You guys aren't probably going to be able to see it at home, but I'm assuming based on this review, everyone's going to go ahead and buy this game anyway. If you look on the money here, it says 1 mega credit. And it has a really like purposefully Martin Van Buren looking like neckbeardy type person. Do you know if that was like someone involved with the production of
That's
this
definitely
game,
Jacob
or
Firaxis or Firaxal.
Firaxis?
Yeah, the guy who designed this game.
Oh.
He put his likeness in this game.
Is that the guy who does all the Civ games and stuff?
I don't know.
They're Firaxis Games. Is it Firaxis?
Look at the front of the box.
Oh, okay.
Right up there at the top.
Nope.
Frix
Games.
Frixilus.
Nope.
Yeah, no, different.
Trying to
different.
make connections there where there were none. So,
Paraxis is a 2K subsidiary, right? Like a production studio of theirs?
yeah, something like that. They make all the Civ games.
Let's pretend like they made this one too.
Sure. It'll make for more fun.
Your blue cards, you're probably going to want to put in a different spot because you're going to reuse those like a lot.
Mm-hmm. So this green card I'm playing here, though, Phobos Space Haven is a very specialized card. For 25 monies, I can build on this outlying territory here that you're barely going to be able to see on the board called Phobos Space Haven.
Oh, you know what? I messed up. If you're going to let me do this, I had a second action, you know?
Yep.
And I'm going to go and put that on there.
I'll
So as an action, I can put these like microbes on there.
Yep.
So
I think
I'm gonna
it's
do that.
pretty obvious how far ahead I am at this point, so I'm going to let you do that.
That's nice of you.
All right,
Oh,
Phobos
man.
Space
Okay.
Haven is mine, which increases my production of titanium by 1 step, and that's really all it does. So
this card is really cool for me, like because I'm gonna do this, add 1 on there, and then for my second action, I'm gonna take 2 off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and move my oxygen level up 1.
oh,
The
that's
oxygen level up
really
1.
nice, actually.
So, and that was my turn.
Cool.
I'm part of the turn.
I'm absolutely gonna pass on my next turn because
I'm wondering if I cheated because you can only activate a card 1 time
I'm completely out of
per
money.
turn, but I don't know.
Like, comment, and subscribe, and let Joel know whether or not he cheated using that card twice down in the comments.
Yeah. I don't know.
And say something nice about the top of his head, which you've probably seen a lot of at this point.
Certainly. That's weird. I don't know. Are you limited on the number of times you can use those cards? I don't know. It's kind of game breaking if I can keep doing that. Not game breaking, but I mean, I'm gonna crank the oxygen up on this planet quite a bit. My turn.
I think that's got to happen at some point, right? Like at some point, it becomes a race.
Yeah.
With how quickly the planet's
Can you-
getting heated.
Can you move my TR up 1 by the way too? My
You got it.
Terraforming
We are
rating?
now, for the viewer, if it's out of screen, I think it is. We're now tied. So
Oh, it's getting scary.
it's getting pretty heated up in here. No pun intended.
Oh,
you just raised the oxygen.
Oh. Guess what?
You've been cheating this whole time?
Yeah, move that back down. I can only do it once per generation. I just saw that rule. That's okay. That's okay. Because I'm gonna go ahead and do.
Do I need to move the oxygen? Oh, I think you
And get 2 heat.
Okay.
So I use these both. So there should be a way that I should mark those that I've used them. I'm gonna put these blue cubes in there to mark that I used them. Probably sense to do that in the rules. Because man, if you can just keep doing that over and over again, the game's over.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna max the oxygen out before you pass.
So at this point,
Or before I
though,
pass.
I need to make sure I understand what a tag is.
Okay, tag are these things up here.
Oh, okay. And these cards are still like
Yep.
in effect?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Neat. Okay. I've got some things in the works that are looking good for my planet for the next generation, but yeah, we're both passing or we're moving on.
No, I'm gonna go again.
Oh, okay.
Adaptation Technology cost me 12, and I'm gonna go and play that down. And that's kind of cool too because it allows me to, on one thing, my global requirements are plus or minus 2. I don't know why you'd ever want to make your global requirements more. I don't know. But so like if I do something to,
It makes your requirements more?
yeah, your global requirements are plus 2 or minus 2. So
Oh, okay. So if you're trying to prolong the game or
I
buy
don't know.
yourself some time?
doubt it. I mean, I don't know why you'd ever do that, but it says you can.
Okay.
But I'm thinking in my head, this means that if I want to increase the oxygen level, or I want to plant a plant or whatever, I can have plus or 2. Oh, global requirements are plus 2 or minus 2 steps. Okay, that makes sense. So, like, if I have a card that says it requires to have, a maximum of 14%,
you can work within
yeah, I get it.
16
I get it.
or
It doesn't produce
12%.
anything. Okay, so that's my first one, and then
That's still really helpful.
it is, and then ooh, fun. Yeah, I can't do that. I'm done.
Great.
I'm done. Are you done?
Yeah, I don't have any money.
Okay, so we get paid again. So I get 29 again, and you get whatever you get.
I think
And
26,
1
which I don't want you to take as an indication you're winning.
And
I'm up to, 2 of these guys per turn.
okay,
Okay, for each city that you have, you get an extra.
can I tell you what I'm thinking right now?
You
I
get
like
extra
scratch my
money.
nose, and then I immediately nervously like put my finger in my mouth like this.
It's gonna look like you
And
picked
like
your
it
nose,
looks like I'm was digging my boogers out, and then I was like eating them. I mean, like I do that,
but not on
but
camera.
not on camera. Only in traffic.
Yeah,
Um,
only on the commute to and from work exclusively.
How did I get 60 money?
I thought the
That's
same
some
thing when I was
kind of
like,
mistake.
I've been okay. So we live in the Midwest, so like it's what 7 degrees outside right now.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with some kind of like sinus and cold type stuff too. So I feel myself like kind of sniffing and sniffling, that sort of thing. So
I'm gonna research some stuff right now. Researching some stuff.
I'm just gonna fall into the assumption that people on the internet only assume the best.
Oh
about
my
people.
word! I'm taking that one.
Okay.
Oh my. Well, that is a very good card. As is that. As is that. Nope. Buying one.
I don't think I understand the
Buying
benefit of
one for 3. Do you want me to explain it to you?
Okay, do these things have an
Those are
impact?
victory points.
Okay, gotcha.
So he's just getting victory points probably from it.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Oh!
Victory points also translate into money for every turn, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's going to be potentially a good card.
Well, at the end of the game. Those are into the game ones. So
Oh.
just notice
But
that.
doesn't your tracker also indicate how much money?
I don't think you move that up to the end of the game. Like that. Because you already have 4. I mean, right
Yeah.
here. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
you just get those at the end of the game.
Yep. And that
Guess who's
card's
first player?
effectively worthless to me.
Alright, this game's starting to cook now.
Yeah, I'm getting it at least. But I don't think I really want. Huh. What those farting noises coming out of your mouth come along. Okay, I'm going to skip all these cards.
Hello.
All right, man. My brother's getting
No cards.
board game drunk at this point because I don't play board games with them very often.
I'm getting board game bored because you were like, I don't think I want any of these. And I'm going to tell you that I don't want any of these for the next minutes. And I wanted one, and I bought one, okay? It's your turn. You go first.
I really hope you're doing all the editing so I can't witness all the times that you've been wasting my time. Not that there have been any.
0 times.
Okay. Man, I really need better tags. Are you running into that at all? Do you know the right tags now?
I have one that I would like to have better tags, but
Okay. I'm gonna build this adapted lichen.
ooh, that is nice.
Which is a really it's like a
Increases your
vampire,
prey
I think.
production, right?
Yes.
That's a nice card.
It's adapted too, so I don't really have. There's no requirements for me going into it, and it gives me a green tag. So
Yes,
moving
it does.
forward,
Yes, it
that will
does.
help with things. So I get a plant.
I'm gonna build a power plant.
Okay.
Hello, power.
It's not a bad idea.
Your turn.
I'm going to copy you and I think build a power plant.
You sucker. I used my power to build a GHG factory, which I don't even know what a GHG is, but I've got an imported GHG and a GHG factory now. That is a game-breaking combo,
Which
gives me 4 power production, but takes away 1 power. I mean 4 heat production, but takes away 1 energy. So now I'm getting 5. Read 'em and weep. 5 heat every turn.
And you called me a sucker when on my turn, thanks to my increased energy production, I'm going to build an HGH factory, which gives all my astronauts plus 13 muscle mass.
HGH.
Well, you just built a GHG one, didn't you?
On our new expansion that you
Yeah,
saw on the previous, it's going to slide your thing over a little
basically,
to have more muscly people.
basically,
but
at the end of the game, it turns all humans back into Neanderthals. That's all it's for. It kind of like reverses evolution.
All right, sweet. Are you done?
Which is kind of cool because then it's like you built a new Earth, and you're back to having cavemen.
I have a question. Are you done?
No, I think I have more money. So,
Yeah, you do.
And I can actually start using some of this stuff as currency at some point, right?
For
If I have the
sure.
right cards.
For sure.
Okay, so does it mean I have to have a tag on the card that I'm going to use that one for, or does it have to implicitly state that?
It's
in
the
directions
tag
of
is
the
at
card?
the top there.
Okay, so if there's
The
that
tag
matching
is
tag,
present.
okay.
Correct.
I'm gonna go ahead and use import of advanced GHG.
What? Dude, you're ruining the GHG market.
Go ahead and increase my heat production.
And you
by
spent 3
2
science on that?
as well. I spent 3 of whatever that resource
Sweet.
is.
Titanium, I think. Pass. I need some money.
I think I'm in the same boat as you. There's really not. Yeah, I'm gonna pass as well. There's not really anything I can do at this point. So I need to. We've not. Okay, so every time. I don't think we've been keeping really good track of the generation counter.
I don't know that it matters. Like I don't.
It really
understand.
doesn't. Yeah, I think if nothing else, it's probably one of those things you can like backtrack to the game and see if someone's cheating or something. I don't know.
29, and now I'm getting. Look at all that. Look at all that production over here. 5 of these. Did you get your production?
Not yet.
Oh my word. Oh my word.
Okay, so none of us moved up the scale here though at all from last round.
Now say it again.
Up here on the counter, on the ticker, we'll get our monies.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think we did. I don't think any of us.
Oh
moved
my
up at all.
goodness. That is a sweet card.
Okay, so
What?
and I'm up to
Oh
2
no.
of these per turn.
Oh no.
I think the fact that I just figured out this game's not very good for you, but
Okay, I bought one.
did you already say what my name was? It's too late for me to go by Fat Will Wheaton.
Fat Will Wheaton. Phil Wheaton.
Phil Wheaton.
I bought one card. Did you buy any cards?
Oh, yes, but I don't remember what they were. You know what? These all look really complicated.
I'm the first
Oh,
player
wow.
again.
Okay. So that seems really nice. I'm holding on to this one for sure.
Do you think we can play this whole generation out
'Cause
in
it's-
less than 7 minutes? Because that's how much tape we have left.
Yeah, I think so. Because it's... Okay, so I'm going to do this one because it's really mean to you when it becomes my turn. Anyway.
Sweet. Yeah.
so-
Sometimes events like mess you up,
sometimes.
and it's like you lose half your money or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this guy here, which lets me do plus or minus 2 on that, which says, hey, I'm gonna pretend like there's more oxygen here to do methane from Titan, which cost me 28, which is kind of a ton, but it's worth it because it bumps me up 2 on my plant production, and it bumps me up 2 on my heat production.
All right, I'm going to do something that's going to make you think I'm a real dingus.
Do a real number on my production here, huh? Go ahead.
No, I mean, it's not really going to affect you too much, especially not based on what I think your plan is this game. I'm going to do a big asteroid.
Oh no!
It's going to raise the temperature 2 steps.
Do you have the 4 plants for that? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, and I'm going to...
2.
Well, that's the thing. Remove up to 4 plants from any player. So I'm not going to elect to take my plants.
You're going to remove them from me.
I'm going to smoke up your plants.
He's taking my plants. Oh, silly. At least I started increasing my plant production, I guess. Well, I'm going to go ahead and crank the heat up a little bit if you're done.
Yeah, I think so.
Crank the heat up another one.
So one of these over here,
Can you move me up 1 TR?
what do
rating?
those mean?
And I think you move yours up 2 because you just did that.
I did the same thing. Yep.
Did you move it up 2?
Oh, 2?
Because you did 2 heat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's what it should be.
So we're at, for the viewer, we're at negative 20 degrees centigrade now,
We're getting there.
which is good. A lot of these cards become playable at like above 24 degrees, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, so if it's back to me, I'm passing because there's not really anything I can do.
I'm going to pay 10 and increase my heat production by 2,
Okay.
which is this guy here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put another one of these microbes on these guys. And then you're passing still?
Yes.
I also am gonna.
Hey, you're the one who introduced the 7-minute
I'm gonna pass as well.
countdown timer. So.
And that's it. We're gonna have the next generation will be playing this game again, which I mean, hey, it's a thing. So our children will be here in a little while. Maybe my kid's old enough to play now, but your kid might be a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's like the most insulting thing.
No,
hey, you're
no,
30
not
now. Where's your kid?
Not
You
necessarily.
don't have
Well,
one.
no.
He's single. If you guys
That's
wanna,
true.
I mean, whatever.
I also go by the moniker Mild Kratz, so look for if this is coming out as a part 4.
3?
I don't remember. Anyway, so
Something.
chances are my channel might be up at this point. So look
Enjoy
for me
it.
as Mild Kratz.
All right. So thank you for watching, and we are going to stop this now.